Hi everyone. This is the Erae Touch. It's an MP music controller, and it's very expressive and versatile. So here we have isomorphic representation of notes, or key grid. We call it key grid, where you can set all the notes you want, and the roots here would be G. The mode would be harmonic minor. So all the notes are in G melodic minor. It's got the aftertouch. You can do vibratos, descendos, and you can pitch bend in multiple ways.
And then that's you're using it's pressure sensitive, so you were.
Exactly. So the product is actually a matrix of 1,000 LEDs and force sensors in between every LED, so that you can grab all the musical articulation very precisely. And then you can also play with drumsticks. So we had a big challenge to get the scanning rate fast enough so that you could grab a stick. So it could be a nice replacement for electronic drums, and you can go much further because it's got the touch sensitivity, the pressure, but also you can map all dimensions X and Y, absolute X and absolute Y, so that inside one pad, for example, here left you would have one effect, on the right you would slowly go to another effect. You could map, I don't know, the left-right panning or the timbre, whatever you want.
And that would be like per pad on your...
Yeah, absolutely. Here is more isomorphic key grids. Here you would have more sound design effects. So of course the visual aspect of it is very appealing. You can create all the colors you want with the editor, but I'll come back to it in a minute. This one is really about specialization of sound.
Well, and you were just doing, I think you were telling me before, it senses the release time as well.
Yeah, we got the lift, which is the release velocity. So here I mapped the lift to this kind of harmonic effect. If I release slowly, I don't have it.
And what's the sounds? What's the sound source that we're hearing?
So on this example, I was using Vital, which is a free MPE synth. It's very nice. We make tons of presets. So if you get the Erae Touch, you can download Vital for free and download our presets for free and start playing around with very nice MPE sound designs.
Yeah, great.
So yeah, you can have up to 16 layouts, and every layout has a alternative mode. So in total that would be 32 layouts in the machine. We also have a MIDI effect processor on board. So here, for example, you have H for harmonizer, A for arpeggiator, repeats, delay. So yeah, you have all the standard arpeggiator options. Let me put a sound for this one.
So the arpeggiator is not in the software, it's the hardware's doing the arpeggiation.
Which is very convenient because you can plug the Erae Touch to hardware synth with MIDI TRL. We provide this output and the adapter for MIDI DIN, so you can plug this to any hardware synth and pilot everything from the Erae Touch. What else? Then let's dig on the editor. So Erae Lab, which is the companion software, enables you to create layouts from scratch. So here I was just starting to just drop elements. So here I was taking a keyboard element, and you can see on the touch, it appears in real time, and then I can start editing the size of the keys. I can make them more, smaller or bigger according to my needs. I can extend anything about it. I can style it, changing the colors per key. So here I'm just using edge colors. I could be solid colors, put everything in red or a circular gradient. I can be very creative about the look and the aspect of every element. And then of course I can say map this control change to the y-axis for the slide movements, this control change for the x-axis for the glissando movements. I have 2D faders. We have buttons, drum pads. We also have a sequencer, which is kind of nice. The sequencer has 4 pages. There are 16 memory slots, and you can have up to 32 sequencers running at once in the Erae Touch. It's all touch sensitive as well. So let me just try an example. So yeah, a basic sequencer with most options that you could think of, and still work in progress. There are chain sequences options that we'll be developing in the near future. But yeah, pretty much. So drum pads, keyboards, sequencers. You can also create your own mixer with it. So it does pretty much anything you would need for a DAW. As a controller can provide, with a very nice expressive feel and visual experience that comes along with.
Yeah, that's great. You said you can hook it up to hardware synths.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then you can map out all the CCs and things like that to control your hardware as well.
Yeah, absolutely. So let's start an example from scratch. Let's say I'm to use a key grid, which is like the grid-based representation of notes. So yeah, let's make it smaller. Just a few pads, 3x2 for example. And then here I can apply different CCs to my X, Y, relative and absolute axes. So it's very simple. I go on the editor, I put X absolute, enable it, I apply my controller, I do the same for the Y absolute, and then the X relative and Y relative. So the difference between absolute and relative is here in X absolute I would be on 0, and here on 126. And relative I would be 0 when I start, and then I drag along to go minus or plus. So for drum playing, I would use the absolute scales to hit and send the CC while I hit. And when I do more of like a glissando, portamento kind of finger style, then I would use the relative dimensions. And then, as you see, on the y-axis here I have my macro moving along. So now I have the left-right panning and the effects on the Y. So every note, every key, every pad becomes, in 5D in a way, because you can map those 5 CCs and play at once. So it can become quite complex and rich in the playing.
All right. Very good. And price and availability?
So the price is 850 euros and $850, and it's available. We received new stock, so we should be in stock for a few months, which is nice after being out of stock for about 4 months.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Thank you, with pleasure.